Yeah, good afternoon, students. I hope you are doing all well. So today I am here to discuss about an important topic which is very much important as far as the competitive exam is concerned, that is electromagnetic induction. Okay. In the electromagnetic induction, actually, what exactly the question they are asking from is, first they are asking the question from the motional EMF. I will take your little time to tell what is the motional EMF and what point you have to take into care. You know that when the conductor, any metallic conductor, when it is moving inside a field, in a magnetic field, then inside that conductor there are charges, and these charges will experience a magnetic force which is equal to Q V cross B, where V is the velocity of the charge carrier. Remember very carefully, where V is the velocity of the charge carrier, which is equal to the velocity of the conductor. That is very important. Here, V is the velocity of the charge carrier, which is equal to the velocity of the conductor. B is the magnetic field in which the conductor is moving. So what happens when a conductor is moving in a magnetic field? Then the charge carrier inside that conductor will experience a magnetic force that is equal to Q V cross B. Now, when these charge carrier will experience a force, what will happen? The charge will start accelerating in a particular direction. When the charge will start accelerating in a particular direction, from one point to another point, what will happen? There will be a difference of potential will come, and therefore such type of EMF which has been induced is known as motional EMF. It's known as motional EMF. And what is the formula of motional EMF? Tell me. What is the formula of motional EMF? The formula of motional EMF is integral of V cross B dot dl. This you know it. You have learned all about it, so I am not proving it right now. The formula of motional EMF is equal to integration of V cross B dot dl. Now, what point I want to put clear before starting the numerical? First thing, for example, there are three vectors quantity over here. V is velocity vector, B is the magnetic field vector, dl is the current carrying element, that is along the current only. Okay. So now, if all the three vectors are perpendicular to each other, I'll take the case in the case of numerical. I will take the case. No need to worry about it. But what I'm telling you right now is very important from the numerical point of view. If all the three vectors, what are the three vectors over here, beta? One is V, that is the velocity vector. One is magnetic field vector, and one is current carrying element dl. If all the three vectors are perpendicular to each other, for example, for your convenience, let the velocity be in some, say, x direction. So I take I cap. Magnetic field, say, along the z direction, say k cap, and dl vector, current carrying element, say, along the y axis, say j cap. Just I'm telling you. So what is I cross j k? What is I cross k? I cross j, j cross k, k cross I is what? K cross I is j. So I cross k minus j dot j 1 means, actually what I mean to say, minus j dot j is minus 1, but magnitude wise, if I take the magnitude, then it will come out to be BLV only. Magnitude wise, I am not taking minus sign into consideration right now. The magnitude wise will come out to BLV. What I mean to say, that if all the three vectors, V vector, B vector and dl vector, are perpendicular to each other, the magnitude of EMF, magnitude I am telling, I am not telling about the polarity right now, only the magnitude part will come out to BLV, remember. Okay. Now what will happen? Now try to understand the thing. If any of the two vectors are parallel to each other, for example, V and B are parallel. Example, in a conductor, the velocity through which the conductor is moving and which it is placed in some magnetic field, both are parallel, then V cross B will come out to be 0. Even if you take any of the two vector quantity which are parallel to each other, the EMF will come out to be 0. Means these two things you have to remember for solving the numerical. If all the three vectors V, B and dl vectors are perpendicular to each other, then the magnitude of EMF will be BLV. Remember, I am using the word magnitude. Okay, I am not using polarity right now, because polarity, then we have to see which polarity is positive, which polarity is negative. Don't confuse with the polarity right now, only concentrate on the magnitude. Polarity we will see while solving the question. Now, if either of V cross B and dl, out of these three vectors, if any two vectors are parallel, then the EMF will come out to be 0. Again, the magnitude of EMF will come out to be 0. So only this thing you remember, and now we start with a question. Now how they are asking the question, I will tell you. So let's go to the first question now. You can see this question. An equilateral triangular loop ADC has some resistance, is pulled with a constant velocity. Remember, the velocity is constant out of a uniform magnetic field. B is also constant, directed into the plane of paper. Into the plane of paper means like this. See, this is a cap direction. You take this cap direction into the plane of paper like this, cross field. Towards the plane of paper is into the plane of paper, or away from the plane of paper is cross dot field. So they are telling this is a cross field. Okay, no issues about it. Now at time t equal to 0, at time t equal to 0, side DC of the loop is at the edge of the magnetic field. Now what is the graph between the induced current versus time? That is very good question. See, they are not asking directly the question. How they are asking, you just see to it. You read once and then we will explain it. So now what they have given in the question, that we have a cross field, uniform magnetic field of cross, that is towards the plane of paper. Okay. Now this is an equilateral loop ADC. Okay, I'll just draw a perpendicular for the symmetry one. Okay, now this DC length is on the edge of the magnetic field, and this whole loop is moving with a constant velocity v. This whole loop is moving with a constant velocity v outside. Okay, so now what will happen? Try to understand. After time t, what will be the condition? After time t, what will be the condition? So after time t, this part, DC part, will come somewhat outside the field, and now we can have like this. The same field is like this here. Now see, the DC part is now outside the field. Okay, now tell me one thing. What I'll do right now, let us consider this is the symmetrical point with symmetrical line we have joined. If DC is, say example 2A, just for a convenience, say DC is 2A. So now I'll take this point as A, D, C, say F. So DF will be A, FC will be A. DF will be A, FC will be A. And let this height AF be B. Now, okay, now what happened? Let us say after time t, what will be this distance? Can you tell me what will be this distance after time t? See, it is moving with uniform velocity v. So after time t, it will cover the distance vt. See, this part DC is moving with a uniform velocity v downward. So after time t, how much distance it will cover? Vt. Simple. So now this is Vt. Now this total height AF what B, out of which this is Vt. So what will be this height? Can you tell me this height now? This is AF, ADCF, GHI. Okay. So now what is AH? What is AH? Total is B. Total was B. This is Vt. So what is AH? B minus Vt. Now what is there? Now you try to understand one thing. Magnetic field is of cross. Say cross means which direction beta? Which direction cross means? Minus k. Okay. Or say z axis. Okay. Now what about the velocity? It is along the y axis. This you are taking it of xy plane. Okay. Xy plane. This is y axis. Okay. So what is the direction of induced current? What is the direction of induced current? Can you tell me what is the direction of induced current? You know V, you know B. What is the direction of induced current? How to find the direction of induced current? Fleming right hand rule. Don't apply left hand rule. For finding the direction of induced current, use Fleming right hand rule. V, thumb V, first finger B, second finger I. Now velocity BI, B downward like this. Okay. Velocity along the y direction like this. So this is the direction of current. Means along the direction DC initially. So this is the direction of current is coming like this initially DC. This is the direction of current. Okay. Now you can see over here, what is the direction of current is same as the direction of DL. Because what is the direction of current is same as the direction of DL. Because IDL is what? Current carrying element. So remember when I am using this formula, V cross B dot DL, when I am using this formula for EMF, this DL will have the same direction. Now I am telling this DL will have the same direction as that of current direction. Okay. So now when after time t it come out of the field, then this DC is out of the field. So now what is the effective length now? If you apply this formula, now see all the three are perpendicular or not. V along y axis, yes or no? V along y axis, B along z axis, DL along x axis. DL means direction of current. Whatever direction of current, same is the direction of IDL, current carrying element. So all the three are perpendicular. V along y axis, field along z axis, maybe plus z minus z, doesn't matter to us, and the ideal or the dl vector along the x axis. All the three are perpendicular, so you know that you can easily apply E equal to BLV. Now the question is, B is a uniform magnetic field, we know it. V the velocity through which the whole equatorial loop is coming out or coming down, and L is the length of the conductor. Which length you will take? Now you won't take DC because it is out of the magnetic field. You cannot take DC right now. What part of the conductor is now on the edge of the field is GI. So you have to get the GI value. This GI value you have to get, because up to this point only magnetic field is there. So this is now GI is on the edge of the field. Yes or no? So you have to get this length GI. Again, so what I will do now, try to understand. This part is A. This part is A. Okay, this is VT. This is whole is B. So this part AH is B minus VT. So now you see two triangles. What are the two triangles? One is this triangle, triangle AHG, AHG. Okay. Another triangle AFD. Now AHG and AFD, they are similar triangles. Okay, yes or no? So what we can apply now? This we want to find, say GH. So GH upon this distance, how much beta? A. Very good. Should be equal to this GH upon A. This distance AH how much? B minus VT upon this whole distance B. So what you will get as GH? You will get as GH equal to A B minus VT by B. A B minus VT by B GH. And but what is the total length of the conductor in E equal to BLV, where L is the length of the conductor inside the field on the edge, is GI, which is equal to 2 times GH, because it is a symmetrical line. So 2 times GH will become GI. This is I beta. Okay. So GI. So 2 times GH will be equal to 2A B minus VT by B is equal to GI. This is the length of the conductor you got. Now you come to over here. Now you know it very clearly. That BLV, all the three are perpendicular. So directly as in magnitude, we can take E equal to BLV. I am not very much concerned right now in seeing the direction, though I told you the direction of current also, because we have to plot a graph between current and time. Current being a scalar quantity, time being a scalar quantity. Okay. Now start here. So EMF. Okay, this point we will take this as a length. So I'll rub this part now, or this part we'll do it. E is equal to, B is the uniform magnetic field. Length is given as this much, 2A by B, B minus VT into V. Now you have to draw a graph between E, current and time. So what is the resistance given? See in the what is the resistance given? Some resistance. Take it as R. Okay, take it as R. So now what I'll get here? I'll divide by R both sides. So E by R is equal to 2A by small b capital B, B minus VT into V. This is current. So current come out to be, E by R is current. E by R is equal to, you just open the bracket over here. So 2A capital B minus 2A by B into V square T. So this is the equation we got, a current as a function of time. The current as a function of time. Now if you see the graph, you have to plot a graph between I and T. Means I you have to take along the y-axis as according to the graph, and time you have to take along the x-axis. So see, I is along the y-axis, take it as y. 2 is constant, A is constant, capital B uniform magnetic field is constant. Say this as say K1 minus again 2 constant, A constant, small b constant, capital B uniform magnetic field constant, velocity constant, to square of velocity this is constant, so take this as say K2, and time is along the x-axis. So this graph we will get. So this is somewhat of the order of y is equal to minus mx plus c. Y equal to, this is minus mx plus c. Okay, this minus mx plus c, this is minus mx, this part, and this is c. So how the graph you will get? You will get a graph between current and time in such a way that the intercept should be positive and the slope should be negative. So this is the intercept c, which is positive, and this is the slope, which is negative. So this is a graph between I and T. So now let's go to the PPT, PowerPoint presentation. Which graph is clear now? Tell me, between I and T. See the B1, this B1 applied the same concept like this. So what is the correct answer now? B. So like this they are asking you the question, like this they are asking you the question, they won't ask you directly question, you know, they will twist in a manner, they will, you should only know the basic concept that okay, B, L, V are perpendicular to each other, directly you can have the magnitude as B, L, V. If any of the two vectors out of B, L, V are parallel, EMF will be 0. Then how to get the direction of induced current? You can get the direction of induced current by Fleming right hand rule. And what effective length we have to take? The effective length we have to take, which is the length inside the magnetic field, and what is the direction of L or dl vector or the current carrying element vector is the same as direction of current. Okay, is it clear to this point? The first question is clear. That is a question may be asked in IIT advanced likewise. Now let's go to the second question now. Yeah, once again a very beautiful question. We have a rectangular loop, you can see over here as shown in the figure. It is moving away from an infinite long wire carrying a current I. Find the EMF induced in the rectangular loop. Find the EMF induced in a rectangular loop. So now I will tell you one more new thing in this one. I will tell a new concept along with what we have applied in the previous one. See, these questions are very typical questions, you know. They won't ask you a direct question. They won't ask you the direct question. First of all, try to understand that this is in the xy plane only. I mean, this current is flowing along the y direction. The infinite current carrying element or current carrying wire. We have a loop over here. I will name it A, B, C, D. Okay. Now it is moving with a constant velocity V as given. The length is given as L and the width is given as B. A rectangular loop. So this is B. This is if AD is B, BC is also B. If AB is L, CD is also L. And this is placed in an XY plane. This is placed in an XY plane. The whole setup is in the XY plane. They will tell you. Now, first of all, what is the function of this current carrying wire? First of all, see, when you talk about the motional EMF, you talk about the motional EMF only when the conductor is moving with certain velocity. The conductor is moving with certain velocity in a magnetic field. So this current carrying wire will provide a magnetic field over here. Is it clear to this point? Yes or no? But you know that the magnetic field at this distance, what is the distance given to you here? Say magnetic field is given to a distance x over here. Okay, let us say this distance be x or something like this. Okay, the magnetic field at this distance will be different, and the magnetic field due to at this distance CD due to this is different. Okay, so now how to solve this type of problem? Can you tell me? So now what we have to do over here, try to understand the thing. First of all, due to this current carrying wire, first we have to see what is the direction of magnetic field. Though the magnitude of magnetic field will vary, here the magnetic field will be different at this position, anywhere here the magnetic field magnitude will be different, and here also the magnitude will be different because the distances are different. Okay, so now what I will do right now here, try to understand what first we will find the direction of magnetic field. So now here, see over here, everyone see over here, this is the direction of current, and the loop is here. This is the direction of current like this, right hand, and the loop is here. So if I open it like this, so I get a field along the plane of paper, that is a cross field. So I got a cross field, I got only direction, cross field. I am not talking about a magnitude right now, we have got a direction of cross field. Now you see over here, this length, AB length, cross field and velocity. Cross field means minus Z, okay, it is in the Z direction, velocity, X direction, length, Y direction. All the three are perpendicular, yes or no, for this AB. So we will get some EMF induced over here. But if you say BC, if you take this BC, you will see that the length and velocity are parallel. The length and velocity are parallel. So what I told you, if any one of the two vectors are parallel or anti-parallel, whatever it is, then what will happen? There will be no EMF. So here there will be no EMF. Again you go for CD, velocity, say along X, field minus Z, perpendicular, yes or no, length, Y. So all the three are perpendicular, so you will get an EMF induced here also and here also. Now come to the AD part, again the length and the velocity are parallel or maybe anti-parallel, whatever will be the direction, because the length dl vector is the direction of current, okay, but they are parallel, anti-parallel, so here there will be no EMF. So now we have to get this EMF, and then we can find the net EMF. So now since you know that if you take AB or you take CD, B, L, V are perpendicular to each other, you can apply the formula E equal to B, L, V, what I told you in the first class. A shortcut because we don't have time right now. So now first start from AB. First start from AB. EMF E1 is equal to B, uniform magnetic field. So what is the magnetic field here? Due to this current carrying wire, what is the magnetic field here? Tell me. Mu naught upon 4 pi 2I by x. This distance is given as x. This is the magnetic field. B, length, this length is given as L only, and the velocity is uniform velocity V. This is E1. First I will find the magnitude, then I will go for the direction. Then for this one tell CD, what is the EMF for CD? E2, just the magnitude I want. Again tell, so what is the magnetic field? BLV. So what is the magnetic field here due to this wire, infinite wire? Mu naught by 4 pi 2I by R. R is the distance from here to here, x plus B into length again. This is L into V. So BLV, I got E2. So my question is, now what is the net EMF? Is it E1 plus E2 or it is E1 minus E2? So now let's check. Now you come to the direction of induced current. How to find the direction of induced current? Fleming right hand rule. What is the Fleming right hand rule? Tell me, what is the Fleming right hand rule? Here velocity is like this, V, B, I, thumb, V, B, I, B down, V this side. So current is moving from A to B. Now listen carefully, everyone listen carefully. Current is moving from A to B. Okay. So the electron inside the conductor will move from B to A. If the electron is moving from B to A, means B there is a deficiency of electron. So this will become positive. A will become negative. So this will become like this. This is the EMF E1, which is equal to this one. Same like this also. Again velocity in this direction. Yes or no? Cross field. Same thing you apply V, B, I. What you will get? B downward, V this side, I again D to C. When I is along D to C, current is moving from, induced current is from D to C. Electron inside the conductor will move from C to D. Therefore, the electron is moving from C, so it will become positive. D will become negative. So this polarity will be like this, E2. So now you see here E1 is like this, E2 is like this. So the current is in the opposite direction. Yes or no? The current is in the opposite direction. So what is the net EMF? So net EMF will be E1 minus E2. So net EMF will be this minus this. So if you minus this directly, what common you can get beta? Mu naught upon 4 pi 2I LV common. Mu naught upon 4 pi 2I LV common. 1 upon x minus 1 upon x plus B. So we don't have much time to solve. You can solve it. You can take the LCM and then you can get the answer over it. So this is the answer. Somewhat you will get it likewise. Okay, because in the upside x plus B minus x term will get cancelled. Okay, third question again. Let's go. We will a little bit fast. Now, so you understood how to get the EMF. Now the same thing will provide over here. Read the third question. In the third question, a conducting rod AC of length 4L rotated about O in a uniform magnetic field directed into the plane of paper, means along cross field. If AO is equal to L, OC is equal to 3L, which of the following options are correct? If you see it, it is the whole rod is rotating about this O, center O, along anti-clockwise direction. So now let us check. Be little fast now, beta. This is A. This is given as A. This is C. This is O. And what is the length given, beta? What is the length? AO is L. So AO is L. This is 3L. Okay, total length is 4L given. We have a cross field, and now it is rotating anti-clockwise. Means here, when it is rotating anti-clockwise, see, if it is rotating anti-clockwise like this, it is rotating anti-clockwise like this. So here the velocity vector will be like this, say V. Here the velocity vector will be like this, V. Now, so it is rotating along center O. It is rotating along center O. So now let us check what is the EMF induced due to OC and what is the EMF induced due to OA. Okay. Now, first of all, you know for rotating, what is the formula of EMF induced? EMF induced is equal to half B omega L square, where L is the length from the point of rotation to the edge. Remember, don't take full one, please. L is the length. While deriving it, you are taking the L length from the point of rotation to the edge. So now first of all, this is in the xy plane. Okay, this is in the xy plane. Cross field is there. First, we see the direction of current V B I for this one. C part V B I, B down, V down. So current is from C to O. So when the current is moving from C to O, due to Fleming right hand rule, the electron will move from O to C, and therefore O will become positive and C will become negative. So the first option, VO minus VC, positive, VC equal to half B omega. L is 3L. 3L square means 9L square, equation number 1. Now again you apply for this one also. Again this rod AO is rotating along the center O, not center, we can say about the axis of rotation, sorry, about the axis of rotation. So now apply again the Fleming right hand rule. This is V. Again you apply V B I. You will see that the current is again moving from A to O. So when the current is moving, induced current is moving from A to O, the electron will move from O to A. So again O will become positive and A will become negative. So VO, because it is at high potential with respect to O, minus VA is equal to half B omega into this length is L square. Now you see the options right now. Come to the option, please. See the options. The first option is VA minus VO is half B omega L square. VA minus VO is minus half B omega L square. Okay, VA minus VO opposite is minus half. So the first option is wrong. Second is VO minus VC. VO minus VC is 9 by 2 B omega L square. See, VO minus VC is 9 by 2 omega L square. So the second option is also wrong. Go for the last option, VC minus VO. VC minus VO, again opposite, is VC minus VO is minus 9 by 2. It is showing how much? Plus 9 by 2. That is wrong. So automatically C option is correct. But you can do it. You want to do VA minus VC. VA minus VC. Okay. You just simply minus these two. Means VO minus VC minus VO minus VA. When you solve this, you will get VO minus VC minus VO plus VA. So you will get VA minus VC. So you will get this, you do it. If you minus this, you will get 4B omega L square. But no need, because A, B and D option already, A, B, D option are already incorrect. So C will be correct. Though you can just minus the equation 1 with equation 2, you will get the answer 4B omega L square. So is it clear up to this point? So we have very less time right now. So I can only go to 3 questions. Now let's see if we get the next session, we'll do it. Is it clear up to this point? Have a good day. All the best. Thank you. Bye.